Welcome guys to the Legacy Cup number 2 winner bracket round of 16. I'm not trying to pronounce the word teams here. And we are casting Rex from yesterday. And I'm pretty excited because it's seed number 8 against seed number 9. So should be a pretty close matchup. Let's jump in. The first map is Team Random Civilizations with the map pack. And that was a shaky start. So let's take a look how players are playing this out. It's Malians and Aztecs. So actually that could be a pretty tough match to really end on Team Malians if you don't really have the best options here to land. Oh, let's take a look. Brew instantly trying to land. We have Miguel and Brew against Christ in all caps. Yeah, all caps here is an Australian guy. So they wanted to team up here. And sadly had to play at a very unfortunate time. So far it looks like All Capsia is getting the map control. And at the other side, Malian's Fireship. Not 100% sure if that's the greatest addition against Fast Fireship of the Aztecs here. Would love to see some more demos. And Malians in general, not very good on water. At the same time we see Miguel trying to redock here. Is losing quite a bit. Oh, some demos could do some damage, and indeed they are doing that. And yeah. No spoilers would be preferred, guys. I myself have no idea how this will go. And yeah, maybe someone PM me if you guys know that it will take more than 3-4 hours, because then I will try to end some scheduling stuff. Oh, that's a lot of demos here coming from behind here. Yellow player trying to help out. Seems like players didn't really see what civilization has demos and what, or heavy demos, and what civilization has fast fire ships just yet. But in all honesty, I have no idea myself either. DM Water obviously super aggressive early on. We don't have many more landings except those first eagles, and we have an early barracks, and therefore it's not looking too great for Brew. We actually should have the advantage short distance here with that sex against the Malians. But all caps here is coming over after having such a great start here against Miguel. I was just really trying to get that castle up. It seems like he will do that. But remember guys, without Bracer, all water fights will be pretty tough for the Malian player. Another tricky landing here. Let's take a look if that could already give a small advantage here to Miguel and Brew. Obviously the more well-known guys in the RM community. Good friends did, I believe, the last 2v2 tournament. They, or the second to last 2v2 tournament, they drafted Rubenstock and then ended winning the whole tournament. So they are experienced to play the very top. They are very experienced in those unconventional maps as well, and obviously know the civilizations. Another eagle raid, but it's slapped down here. More demos to the front, and yeah, that goes pretty fast. And I think I should have let that run in normal speed a bit more. No, we go. Here we go. Okay, I did load it at the record. Both ships might be bottom 5 when it comes to water. Maybe. Oh, we'll see some redock attempts, but heavily smashed down here by all caps here. At the same time, Miguel is losing quite a bit as well. And yeah, all the guys who aren't that experienced, it really comes to wood efficiency in the very long run here on Team Island, because really tough to completely destroy a guy. Cannon galleons, at least for Malians. Oh, that's some good demos. Oh, wow, reasonable losses here. Now trying to go for the last docks, and then they can take care of the castles. Villager production, obviously pretty easy. You just build one TC, press the shift key, and pray that a lot of villagers will get you more wood income. Same time, Miguel is still trying to go for galleons. Not 100% sure if that's the best option. Here, oh, demos getting reasonable kills, or at least reasonable damage. Now we are raising the question, how do you really finish this? At the moment, All caps here and Christ in a good position and killing that, but they need to follow it up with the landing, need to block the trade if they want to win. Trade not too great, just think about it like they could actually land over here and yeah, just try to get some water on the enemy island. But for now, it seems like Christ in a very good spot to control this front line here. Miguel building a lot of castles, and that's a lot of fast fire ships, but should be countered by some demos. Oh, not 100% sure how the trade cogs will actually fight off here. Now some Gebetto landing, and we see trade card amount. Look at that! A solid trade already established here by our Australian guys. On the other side, we have 0 trade by the Brazilians. Some Gebettos now trying to go for some villager kills. Obviously easy snacks for them. Look at that damage output, Cavaliers and the Gebettos are killing quite a bit. But the water retake by the Brazilians now in full. Oh, and oh, that transporter. Oh, let's take a look. What does he have in store? Some rams could snag that castle away. We'll see. Oh, and now Gebetto's coming over though. And uh-oh, that could be a pretty unfortunate water fight here for Miguel. Loses a lot, and those rams uncontested for now. That looks pretty good that this castle could go down. Some Gebettos, though, should do quite a bit of damage against those rams. Let's take a look. And yeah, seems like he will finish those rams off. Yeah, he will. And some damage from behind here. This is just such an action-packed game, guys, here. And I'm trying to get to 50 speed again. It catches up a bit. I will reload the next game just in single player to stay at 50 speed instead of the multiplayer. Do you build any farms on DM water? Not really. Like, look at that. Miguel has 6.6k, we have 13k for Brew, 7k for all caps here, and 10k for Christ. So at the moment, not a single farm would be needed, and as we can see, no one is really building any. We did see some very bad, horrible farms here. 6 all caps, yeah. Oh, this game could go for some time. Are landings usually like in RM? Well, normally it's tough to really reclaim water, but this obviously are the civs with some problems here. I just hope that one day we won't see like an Aztec student war, which could be really tough. I think if we get Aztec student war against a good team, oh, big demo sets trading off here. I might even ask for a restart if they are fine with it. Oh, now some sweet raids here in the back. Miguel. Huh. Now getting some sweet raids in, and it's completely unanswered. Look at that, Cannon Galleons getting some markets off also. We're trying to get a castle. Those ships actually getting killed by the Gebettos. Interesting. And uh-oh, a Gebetto landing. But yeah, way too many castles here. And I wanted to criticize that castle earlier, but it seems like it was pretty reasonable. We'll get some kills, but we'll lose all the Gebettos. And this won't be too efficient. This was Team Random Civilization. We will later see the civilizations we have in every series. Best of 7 or best of 9. A mixture of Team Random Civilizations, set civilizations, and Captain's Mode settings. So that will be a nice mixture. I believe in this series we even have a game where you're allowed to pick the civilization, but only non-AOC civs. So people need to get creative, really need to learn the new civilization, and that's what we're here for, right? To see how the balance is in the late stages of this War of the Kingdoms 5.7 version that we're playing here. Trying to go for a redock at the right hand side is Brew now. Isn't that interesting? Okay. Your sentence makes no sense. Hmm? Ah yeah, random just makes no sense tournament, so what? Ah yeah, random civs, yeah. Nili playing in this tournament? Yes. Seed number 1! I think I have to be sleeping with the organizer to get seed number 1 in this. Excited for your game on Saturday? I'm more excited for my games on Friday, honestly. But yeah, that's something else we can talk about later. Check some water is so painful. Agreed. Oh, I made the seeds. Sick, true. No, seeds were made by ratings and I believe 8 players. So in total we had like 7 positions or 7 like votes, and I believe players voted were Kellan, me, Robo, Limp, Rubenstock, Spaden, I believe Viper, not 100% sure about that. So yeah, the admins of the tournament or top players. So yeah, pretty excited with that, or for that. And oh, Miguel, that's a nice rate here. I think they could get a lot. Take a look, and that's a lot of cannon galleons. Look at that, and attack castles are the weakest in the game. Look at that, 4.8k only. Yeah. Did coaches qualify? Yes. Ah, you were asked, but too slow to answer. Surprise. Would have put us at seat 7. Yeah. That's interesting. Like some DMers voted Viper and TaToH like at seat 6 or something, and some others voted them at seat 1. So they were like the guys that we had the least idea about. I think I gave them seat number 3. Yeah, pretty sure. But now I might even give them higher. Oh god, that's a lot of that purple ship here. Ay. Okay, trade finally going pretty well here over at the Brazilian side. Not the greatest markets though. Could really use the efficiency a bit more. I like Bruce markets. Now going for more ram landings. Ooh, that's a good demo again. Okay, and now we're getting into the phase where we need to start looking at wood amounts. So, Team Australia has 10k plus 1k, makes 11k. On the other side we have 12k plus 9k, makes 21k. And let's take a look at how much wood we still have left on the map. Not that much, so roughly 10k more wood for the Brazilian team. Trade card amount is ridiculous. Look at that, 104 trade cards for Christ. Not 100% sure how efficient that is. Wood price at the moment at 140. Might even get higher. How do you feel after winning Master Arena 5? Well, we'll see if he will win. Oh, Christ, buying massive amount of wood here. Now up to 172. And now it all comes down to efficient fighting. Who was more efficient all game long? Look at that, 30 villagers, 4 brew, all of them idle. Not a lot of people having a lot of villagers working. Look at that. Christ in total only has 6 villagers. And now that's a big engagement here. Take a look. Demos coming to the front. Trying to go back with his galleons here. Is Miguel. Oh, big demo hits and getting all the ship in the back as well. Now the demos of Christ are coming over. And that's still a lot of fleet left for our 2 Brazilians. Oh, that's a lot of army. Let's take a look at military counts. We have the solid 120 against only 80. And that's still a lot of land army left for Christ as well. I'd give the advantage here to our 2 Brazilians. Cannon galleons, they really don't want to die. So costly now. Okay, microing them back. Okay, let's get another update on the wood count. We have 5k for Miguel, 5k for Brew. All caps there is done, and Christ is at 2k as well. So he probably really has his dogs working. Was now going for mass demos. And another landing by Brew. Let's take a look. What is he coming with? Could be. I don't think the Aztec can really land something pretty well there against the Tibetos. Should maybe wait till he kills all the Tibetos and only then go for the landing. Oh god, that's a lot of siege. He needs to send all the galleons over though. Needs to kill the Tibetos. Otherwise the Rams aren't as efficient as they could be. All caps here reacting with the house to block in front of his castle. And that was a bigger landing than I thought. But a less efficient landing than he was probably hoping for. They just can't even fight us down. And yeah, there was some losses of some buildings, but the castles didn't go down, the markets didn't go down, and that cost a lot of wood there. Was that like 4 traps and 12 rams or something? It looked massive for sure. Military count, let's get an update. Oh, looks like 80 to 80 or something in those areas. But, as we said before, land army not as important now. And if Miguel is able to hold this area with his galleons and some cannon galleons, they can just destroy the trade over and over again. And just babysit one army and win the game this way. Let's take a look at relic count. That's something we didn't take into consideration at all. I think we made this map with only 1 relic spawning on each island. Exactly, that's one, and the other one was over here as it seems. So that won't affect the outcome of the game as well. So only 6 villagers here for Christ, who is now up to 113 trade cards. On the other side we have 50 for Miguel, 106 for Brew. Let's take a look at the wood count. It is up to 274. Pretty brutal stuff. Oh, more demos dying and Miguel already has something else prepared here. Let's take a look. What are those transporters? Lots of villagers, and he has a lot of stone as well. So that could be 2 castles. And Christ, I'm not sure. What is this? It's the most fight ever. Oh, running away. And those villagers, what can they do? Maybe jump over here, get a castle up. That would be so deadly. Maybe just slowly creeping forward. Why don't they add monks on the island? Actually, that's a good idea. 12 range against 9 range or even less range. I think some monks would be really good. Demos now trying to find the good engagement, going for the split and trying to run back cannon galleons in the back. Not the greatest thing, running with the villagers as well. Demos trying to go in there and counter. I think he should always leave some galleons to just take some damage, not pull all of them back. And now the villagers again trying to go forward. So 1 cannon galleon left, not that much. And 350 gold needs to be invested to get 100 wood here. 1 cannon galleon is so costly now. Even trying to debate some, or did he just have random patrol? Not 100% sure. Christ. I'm trying to go for the converts here and buying more and more wood. Trade card amount 225 to only 173. So for now, the Australians getting more resources, but their population not that high. Getting one demo for one fast fire ship. Oh, not even that. Look at that! RiuT is microing back all the low fast fire ships, trying to send them in to debate some heavy demos. And then goes back. That's a lot of heavy demos. Ha! Doesn't look like the Australians can really win it. More of a very defensive army for them. And Gebetto's still out. I think more Gebetto's landings would be pretty sexy. Oh, and that's what they're thinking about, but that's too close to the two castles. Needs to go back. He has so many galleons. Ay. Well, that wasn't... I think he just needs to put his army here, and if he gets like 30 Gebettos in here, the game is basically over. Oh, cannon guns. And Gebettos is so cheap for them now. Like, they should all have... Oh, some demos coming from the top again. And they're getting reasonable connections, I would say. And all Captia's moving in as well. Is getting all those... Or at least one transporter. Not even that. Miguel saved those as well. And it feels... very efficient over and over again. What a nail biter start of the series here. Trust me guys, those other games won't last as long. It's not your typical DM game that we had such an even game here on Team Islands, and that landing was, well, not too efficient. Demos now, instead of stepping over, killing one, now moving in. Really doesn't want to lose those cannon guns, doesn't want to lose the transporter either. Getting some kills and killing another group of Gebettos. Oh, interesting stuff, and still keeping those cannon guns alive and keeping those transporters alive. Now sending giving a lot of resources, and oh, one cannon galleon down, trying to micro back the other one. Seems like that worked out. Is there really a chance for the Australians to clear up that water army here for Miguel and RiuT? For now, oh, they're asking for a draw. Okay. Seems like they aren't accepting. This is the worst. I think they're playing it too clever. You want to draw another map? Fine for me. Interesting. So they're already debating to maybe call it a draw here. Sick! Okay guys, so we have a draw in game number 1. Okay. So we just watched in 1 hour 10-minute game to call it a draw. So by the rules, I think they should pick the same civilizations for the same player again on Team Islands. Top caster, thanks. Weird stuff. Is draw allowed? Well, I guess. Okay, so let's take a look at the stats, and then we will jump into game number 1 again. Okay, so let's take a look at the wood collected. So that's 100k to 75, so big advantage there for the Brazilians. So they played it a bit worth it seems. Or did they? Yeah, Brew lost a lot. Christ. Okay, so the Malians both times had the better KD. 11 castle seems to be a solid number. And trade profit, look at that, Miguel only 16k. It's way too little. Interesting. Okay. And... Oi. I didn't load the bot. Sorry. And brackets on AOCzone.net. Aye. Yeah, I had draws on DM Islands as well. Okay, then I think we should just jump into the next game. Another try. I really didn't know that. And here we go. Team. Oh! Ah, they just played Team Random Civilization on... Oh no, that's not how it works. Okay, well, okay. They played Team Random Civilization on the map pack again. We got Green Arabia, and our civs are Koreans and Italians here. So that's going to be super interesting. Italian start not really figured out yet. Seems like we have a 3 stable, 3 barrack, 2 castle opening here from Mr. Miguel. Blue, his teammate, is going for a lot of barracks and going for some Korean conditoros, something we don't see too often. On the other side, we have a heavy barrack start by all caps here as well. And Christ is going for condos as well. And yeah, castle there as well. Seems like the corners are pretty safe for all the players. And not a lot of raids so far. We don't have a lot of kills, mainly the scouts at the start. No one really getting a lot of control. Cavaliers now could get 1 kill here, or Caps here lost 1 more villagers. And now the raids of the condos are coming in. And the question is, how well will the condos deal against potential, like, yeah, other units here? Obviously, they're pretty tough to counter. I think, aren't champions like an option against condos? I'm not 100% sure, guys. What do you think? What is best against condos in a matchup here? Italians against Koreans. I think you need to add some SO. Maybe some Cavaliers? I'm not 100% sure. Certainly not gunpowder. Not sure about Arbalest either. Arbalest should be fine. Okay, let's take a look. Military, so much better for the 2 Brazilians here. Look at that, they're both around 80, 90, and the Australians more in the 60s. And that looks like a solid win here for the purple conditoros. But now I believe the masses of the yellow are winning and the castle's going up, so that should be a clear up. And now we see Elite Genoese crossbowman being added to the condos here as well. And yeah, they will do some damage from behind. Elite war wagons as well. So it seems like mass condo and some archer fire from behind seems to be the option here. Miguel, I think, shouldn't really go for more cavaliers here. For now, they are fine against the condos, but once Elite Genoese crossbowmen are coming in, that will be pretty tricky for sure. And so, now coming over as well from Brew, and he will take some solid engagement here if we are still continuing to fight so clumped up here. And this crossbowman Nice little position for them as well. I don't like that Miguel is going for more Cavaliers, and now just think about some SO would be so deadly at that side. I believe Brew should really go over there and produce some Cavaliers. Still trying to find some damage now, but they should just get melted here. They have Pikeman and Japanese Crossbowman composition. Yeah, they get one Onager, but then they're just melting with like nothing. Onager shots not really coming in here so far. And let's take a look. Yeah, Miguel is retreating. So let's take another update over here. And this looks like a bit higher tech here for Brew. Still his SO raining from behind. But the amount of condos a bit better for all caps here. But his pop only at 70. The rest all over 110. Christ. Actually doing quite well here, and at pop 160, and he is in full control of this. The condos not doing too much more damage. Trade is starting at all sides, obviously as expected with those kind of safe corners. A bit late with the third market here, but that's somewhat okay still. We're at the 11-minute mark pretty soon in this game, and mass condos, villager count, all caps here again. On the lower side. Has a lot of TCs though. Look at that. He has 67 TCs actually with the starting TCs. Maybe even 8. And yeah, probably asked for some help from Christ. SO shots didn't come in yet. And now Christ, I think he could clear this up. Let's take a look if Brew is taking some better shots here. Seems like not for now. And yeah, therefore Brew is getting pushed back. And let's take a look. Does Miguel get more breathing room, or will he eat some big Onager shots? Oh, it seems like he is just running away from them. So fine for now. Christ has a nice army composition. Is maybe Genoese Crossbowman and Onager the real army you have to go for? That's a bit like it. And Christ clearing up that area, then seeing, okay, my teammate doesn't really have any rams or traps prepared, so I better go back and raid some. Maybe get some interception here, some villagers moving over, getting one building a castle, so that's a pretty sweet move. Miguel losing 1 TC at the front, which actually supported 2 of his gold spots. It could be a small loss for sure. And yeah, we're looking at reasonable resources here by Miguel. Not really getting the resource on the map. And Christ, he is playing like a madman. Really getting high population. Villager counts look solid. Trade already at 15, which is actually not that high compared to the others. But simply having 90 army at the moment and 90 villagers gives him the full capability of the pop limit here. In the end, those condos were cleared up. All caps here stabilized. Top 140 for him. No access to that gold spot. And we see Japanese Crossbowman going for more and more kills here. Onagers as the addition. Would obviously love to see some more SO from the Korean team partner. For now, ooh, sweet shot there. But actually losing a lot of Onagers in exchange, so that's not that great. Condos going for the kills against those traps, and it feels like the forward base could get cleared up, but Brew is coming over, and now it's not looking too great anymore for Christ. But I'm not sure if the Japanese Crossbowmen actually have an attack bonus against the war wagons. Wouldn't surprise me, and the damage output is quite reasonable as well. Raid in the middle, but condos are already waiting. Probably from a raid before, as it seems. Onager shots actually pretty solid. And that raid is shut down. Trade amount is pretty similar. Villager count is in the reasonable stages as well. So it all comes down to military. Well, we will see a small advantage here for the Australians, but not too important. And this game seems to be stabilizing as well. Maybe we will see another 1 hour game here. Maybe they will draw this out as well. Fighting for the wood on Green Arabia. Perhaps continuing to do some damage, but could easily get sniped down. 7 HP, 6 HP, 5 HP. Ooh. And SO still not getting the shots on, and the castle will actually fall. Going down. Did the shot miss? No, the trap died. Okay. And seems like the castle could maybe survive here, repairing with half a dozen of villagers. On the hill against one trap, seems like that will work out. And the trap super unprotected, so Miguel is holding that hill. All the players around pop 190. And now the question is, where can they really push? Small hit squad in the middle here for Miguel, trying to achieve some advancement on that side. I believe the strategy should be to push the Italian with a lot of SO, because the Korean can defend quite nicely, but an Italian player without SO really can't. Or maybe mass condos. Do Italians have good ramps? I don't think so, right? Let me take a look. I think we don't have siege ramp. And indeed we don't have siege ramp. So, well, that could be a sneak attack against Korean sometime, like a condo siege ram attack, but, well, not going to happen this time. But, ooh, things like, oh, well, if I deny all those farms, maybe your condo production won't really be on par with mine. And he's getting some nice raids in, but some castles around trying to shut down that raid. Villagers running into the TCs, but still getting some kills in. Villager count now dropping below 100. And on the other side, Miguel is advancing as well. So I think the Brazilians are playing it a bit better now and getting some kills in, getting some map control. And I wonder, how well would champions perform against condos? Does someone know about that? I will update a bracket after the series, guys, because I don't want to get spoiled and the up bracket could be updated. And I don't know. Ground attack. Will he get another one? Well, not the greatest ones ever. Maybe could sacrifice his own as well. No! Didn't shoot, and, well, small losses. That's another group of SO going down. For now, Christ trying to hold here, has 3 cards around. Remember, guys, we are playing with no war mod, no bomber tower mod. That means that, yeah, the heavy defending isn't really an option here. So now trying to come over. Miguel maybe with some more combat cannons. Let's snipe those. Oh, that were actually a lot of losses. And will we get another shot off? Yeah, and we'll kill another trap. So only one will survive with 3 HP again. Yep. And that's over now. And that's shut down as well. I don't really see any team advancing significantly at the moment. Trade. Uh-oh, that's a lot of idle villagers. Let's take a look at that. 16, 16, 18, 15. So, well, all the players kind of similar when it comes to idle villagers. More villagers here for me. Miguel. And trade amount is 43 for Miguel, so he's on the lower side again. But, well, still on the reasonable, I would say. I think champs should beat condos, right? I think I will need to test that. Oh, and that advancement looks pretty solid. Condos should snipe 1 trap, should snipe 2 traps. And now those castles are somewhat unprotected. And I can see 4 bombard cannons and 2 traps. And they have some damage output for sure. If they can snipe the SO again. Let's take a look. Those are good shots. Maybe some more ground attacks. Oh no. Our capture is actually going back. And, well, that's some pressure on Christ here. And it does not look like all taps here can send too much over. And Christ is actually trying to help out at the right hand side. I think the Brazilians are having a nice pressure point here at the left hand side. Oh, this could be some good SO shots. Big army here of Crisis coming in. SO shot number 1. Some SOs going down, and that's a lot of losses. I don't think those condos will do enough. Oh, that's so good for the Brazilians. That's all the army gone here for the Australians. Another castle under heavy threat, and that was a poor engagement. Christ lost a lot of caps here. There's only 3 SO moving in. Those were too few, and now it looks pretty bad. Military numbers is 30-30 compared to 70 and 50. 1 castle down, traps rerouting, and then the trade is super open. This looks good for the Brazilians to take game number 2, 1, whatever, take the lead. Let's call it that way. Oh, SO shots. But they weren't as efficient as they needed to be to make a successful hold here. And look at that. The SO support of Brew just so much better than the SO support of our yellow player. At the same time, we have some big engagements over here. Condos are pushing back those war wagons though, and SOs are helping out. So all caps here is holding here. I believe the main pressure really will be on that side. Now you're even adding some more aggressive siege workshops. I absolutely love that. Bombard cannon micro starting, but some of them going down. General's crossbowmen sniping them, sniping 2, sniping 3, and another one went down. So all 4 of the bombard cannons down. Now trying to get another castle up, more SO. Now we could think about sending maybe some General's crossbowmen already in the trade, trying to go for some micro. Some losses, but that's all reasonable. And we see an X of the green player. He is asking for some more help. Traps are coming over, and they could maybe snipe down some of those markets. Let's take a look. Jenny's crossbowmen moving forward, and this looks better and better here for Miguel and Mr. Brew pushing in. And can they reach the last market? Yes, they can. So market number 1 is down, market number 2 is down. So many trade cuts going down, and I don't really see a lot of army coming over. Wouldn't be surprised if the GG is coming any moment. Market number 3 is down, and you don't really want to fight with a short-end trade, and they are resigning after a pretty solid game here on GA. Korean against Italian war, and that's still to be figured out how they should play this here with the condos. Interesting. I can give them the lead. Stats. Bro, the Koreans there. Seems like he got a lot of good SO shots off. And Christ, well, the Italians is tough to play for sure. But he got a lot of fights in. Right in the end, actually, pretty solid for the Brazilians. They did catch up. So that's map pack gone. Now the next will be, oh, that's going to be a fast one. The most classic of them all, Green Arabia, Hunt and Goth. That should be good. I will walk for 30 seconds. Look outside of the window. Yeah, game number real one was a draw. Go and rewatch the VOD if you want to. And watch record. Let's load the next game. And then I will be back in roughly 30 seconds with game number 2 on Green Arabia, Hunt and Goth. OP chair casting. Thanks. Make it sound like a draw or something exciting. Yeah, thanks, I guess. Oh, you mean Karak, probably. Okay, then nothing, I guess. Okay, guys, let's jump into game number 2. Green Arabia, Huns and Goths. 2 of the fastest civilizations of this game. Although, now they became a bit slower since we are playing with one of the kingdoms and both of the civs don't have trade mill crane anymore. Which means, yeah, not as fast, but still interesting. Oh, and Trinity actually now instead of all caps, yeah. So that really strengthens the team. Trinity, an incredible player for sure. And we see the Goths build up here against Huns and Huns against Goths at the top side. So that's going to be interesting. And we see Christ, a master of the market, didn't get the walls in and might lose that one villager. Yes, he does. So not getting his market up. Is Miguel going for market at the same time? No, he's not. For the guys who don't know why it's so exciting to go for the market, now you will see Christ selling a lot of food, a lot of his wood, as you can see in the top, and therefore his gold is just getting super high at the top, and he can pump endless amount of paladins. And as you can see, he is just going for what is that? 13 stable opening. I believe that's not a real thing, but well, don't mind me, I guess. Think he needs to mix in some CA as well, but for now he just wants to go ham. He's building a defensive castle as well, and well, he could lose to Brew if he realizes the situation and just goes heavily onto Halberdiers. If he keeps on mixing in a lot of Huskarls, Christ's army obviously becomes more and more efficient. For now, the big numbers are for the 2 Brazilian guys. And look at that, that's more of the typical approach here. 4 stables, 6 barracks, and 6 archery rangers would be the standard. He's going for 5, and now adding 2 TCs here. Trying to go for some raids in the back, and that will be a lot of paladins here for sure. And they will have some fighting power, but won't be too efficient if they're fighting only Halberdiers all the time. And now the big raids here in the back should get maybe one villager, and if those are all shut down, well, he will run out of gold at one point as well. Maybe should have asked for some champions. Now we see some raids of Trinity coming over. He is trying to control the front, and that's a lot of paladins from Miguel as well, a lot of army. And that's a very good raid here against the Hun player, who still is lacking CA. Look at that. Military count at the moment is 60 paladins, 13 CA only. So that is somewhat pop efficient, but not gold efficient at all. They don't have the trade, they don't have the extra gold spots. This is looking pretty tough when it comes to gold efficiency here for Mr. Christ. At the same time, Miguel looking at a strong pop 170 and going for some more attacks here at that side. Had a lot of Halberdiers, not the greatest unit ever against the Goth player, but well, sometimes you have to mix something in. Now the push over here, and that's a lot of Halberdiers streaming in, and they aren't like super efficient. I think he needs to pull back a bit at the moment. Christ is steamrolling quite nicely, and his KD, look at that, 240 against 100. That's something I like, and those Halberdiers not really fighting anymore before they actually die. So, Christ, is he maybe steamrolling Brew here? His waypoints are super bad at the moment. He's not watching at all. Christ, can he maybe push this? Seems like it. A lot of castles out as well. Could maybe go for some trap pushes. Now setting up the eco quite nicely as well. And he has pop 130 at the same time. Only 36 villagers. In general, everyone pretty low on villagers. Look at that. Trinity only at 11 villagers. The raid in the back were pretty efficient as it seems. Not a single farm setup. We don't have TCs at the main gold spot. Those 2 gold spots are blocked. And this looks pretty bad for Trinity, because obviously the Hun player won't be able to sling him any food either. Now the push of Christ stops here, and they seem to be trying to take a double against the Hun player. Not 100% sure about that. That's a lot of Huskarls. Now we have 1 group, 2 groups of army coming over. At the same time, Miguel is losing a lot of his own stuff. Not really fighting, and if we have some traps now coming over, this could be a pretty brutal push. Oh, Miguel, and those were heavy losses, and those are strong armies. Look at that, military count 190 for Trinity, 190 military on the map. Oh, Jesus Christ. Trinity. He is really getting the numbers out. At the same time, Miguel only with 77. Christ at 120, and that's a strong push. Brew in some troubles here, and they are just running over the Brazilians. Now traps are out, those castles will fall down, and they played this super aggressive. We needed to see the Brazilians to survive a bit longer. That army is so immobile, and Christ is just pushing like a madman. So 160 military and 110 against only a combined 140 here. And this looks, they're deep in the production here of Miguel, who didn't have the greatest spots for the markets for sure. And well, that's so brutal for him, now going down to pop 100 and really needs to run. Can Brew save the day? He's trying to send everything over, but they're already tapping that out. GG! And that was a pretty intense 13-minute game here for the two Australians. And that's a beautiful world of deathmatch for you. KD 440 to 144 for Christ. That's just so sick. Brew 180 against 410. And Miguel, he was controlling the map, but didn't have enough army when it really did count. Sick all in. Yeah, kind of like that. We have now 18 villagers for Trinity. So sick. We have 80 for Brew. We want to compare the two Goth players. He already has a solid fully Goth setup. Achievements. Yeah, most important thing is really Christ KD. That shouldn't really work. If Brew realizes what's going on, he should just build endless amounts of halberdiers and kill everything. But yeah, it is tough. But it just, so sick. So sick for sure. Look at that, how small Christ was and how little his eco, and look at how little the eco of Trinity as well, compared to the two Brazilians, who played a bit of the longer game, maybe too few castles as well on those hills. Interesting stuff. And now we go into the captain's mode on Baltic. I don't have the draft, so we will just take the surprise and see what they have in store for us. Strong game, indeed. And as I said, seed number 8 against seed number 9, and I think it's tough to be closer together after 3 games than 1-1. Yeah, it's really tough. Maybe 3 draws. Uh-oh, I really need to hurry, guys. Only 1 hour 20 minutes left till Talk of the Empire. So let's just jump into game number 3 here. It will be Baltic. Nili jokes. And we have Portuguese and Burmese. Interesting. Against Spanish and Khmer. Interesting stuff. We have a double Dock 1 barrack opening by Miguel. We have a triple stable 1 barrack opening by Brew. We have a triple stable opening by Christ, and all captures doing a 1 stable double dock as well. So the North is fighting for the water a bit more, trying to survive, and the South 2 players, they are going for the land attack, and that will be interesting. Burmese against Khmer, massive amount of elephant action, 320 HP and 23 damage. And 300. What do they have more? They have 1 more defense. The Burmese. Interesting. Okay. So HP wise it should be a bit better for Khmer, and they should have the better scorpions. Miguel? Playing this with 3 dogs for now, heavily housed. Look at that, not building a single house. Trying to go for 3 castles here. Pop 21. Ay. And at the other side we have a lot more dogs for our player in yellow. Who, yeah, maybe Trinity didn't really want to play any water maps, and all 3 players were there. But these Harbardies are insane though. Whoa. I'm not sure if they actually do one more hit, right? Like, they have like 40 extra damage. I'm not sure if the +3 is really doing the difference there. And some troubles here is Mr. Miguel, pop 44 for him, fighting against pop 54 though only, so that's not the big problem. And water control seems to be going in favor of all caps here. We're playing the newest version of the Baltic, where you have way more land and yeah, it's not as unfair anymore as old versions before. Obviously, there's still some options to be on unfair maps, but we have 2 restarts for best of 7, so should be all reasonable. All caps here, some cannon galleons could really add something here instead of some fast fire ships and heavy demos, if you ask me. Some Rambire in the back as well, helping out some, and oh god, those heavy scorpions, I believe, they should be pretty evil. For water control in favor of our player in the yellow trunks. Demos trying to connect, and seems like they do somewhat of a reasonable job. Redog somewhat denied. And this looks good for Chrysant. All caps here again. Brew again with his waypoint. So bad, and Miguel instantly tapping out. That was a 7-minute game. Oh god, it could happen that one game is longer than the other 4. Ay. Why do people even go water control when there's so much land? Yeah, just think about like wall here or like defenders on the hill and have like 10 cannon galleons. There's no way of Brew ever doing anything. And well, Miguel wasn't too happy. Remember guys, it was the Civ draft with the captain's mode, so I don't really know how we got to the civilizations, but I think Spanish are pretty good. And it seems like Khmer against Burmese aren't bad either. Ay. Christ, really got the kills in there with his Khmer elephants and scorpions. All caps here, and Miguel not fighting so much, but Brew, heavy losses for him. Economy stats not too important, obviously we were pretty early in the game. Maybe villager count, but well, not too important either in those small numbers. What do you think about Byzantines on water maps with defensive fire ships with more range? Pretty good unit, I would say. I think I did add them. I made the settings for the tournament. Oh, what a surprise that we are seed number 1. And I believe in one round we have Team Islands, Byzantines and Portuguese or something. That should be interesting. Khmer OP in DM? They're certainly strong. Okay, that brings us to probably my favorite map, Golden Crater, Persian and Khmer. And I played like 4 or 5 practice games, and I have no idea. I have no idea how this works. It feels like Persians is always dying against Khmer, but they shouldn't? Huh, I don't know. Guys, as I said, I will link the Talk of the Empire today, yes. And I will link the brackets later. I don't want to see the brackets now because I don't know the results and don't want to get spoilers. Okay, it's Trinity back on the menu. And we are jumping into game number 4 here on Golden Crater. Khmer and Persians coming our way. Let's take a look at how they are playing this out. We have Miguel playing the Khmer, his teammate Brew is playing the Persians, and we have, oh Christ, playing double castle start? No, barracks now. Okay, so it's person against person and Khmer against Khmer on very reasonably short distance. And in the middle, we have all the juicy gold in a crater. That's the name of the map. Christ, that's a weird build-up. Look at that. Having his Hussar at home, now trying to go for a clump. Oh god, that's so bad. I think that's such a bad start. Yeah, that's not how it works. And he doesn't know who he's against. I think he could just instantly die if he's fighting Khmer here. That's just so bad. Yeah, I think that's not a viable strategy. But well, who am I to judge them? Tyrant plebs and tyrant warlords, indeed. And he's selling some wood, and now the first kills are coming in. Adding mainly bell elephants and heavy scorpions. Exactly what we're expecting. Trinity building some more siege workshops as well, some halberdiers as well. And is Brew already going for some pocket control? Seems like it. He is going for heavy barrack start against a guy who, yeah, only plays war elephants and scorpions on his own. So Brew, with that slow start, could actually be in some trouble. Doesn't really get any map control. Well, he's somewhat active over here, but losing those camels quite easily as well. So he's not blocking the map, didn't do any damage, didn't forward, didn't build the greatest offensive castles. I'm not sure how well Brew will hold this against Christ, who is obviously somewhat of a mastermind when it comes to Persian War. Casted some very nice games, plays it super patient, knows exactly how to composition his army, and then goes for one brutal push. And let's see if this happens, but let's first take a look over here. Miguel, I will try to double click his elephants so that you can see how they vanish against all those scorpion shots in the back. I'm not sure how efficient that really is to build that many elephants, but once they close down the distance, as you can see here, Miguel can snipe those down quite nicely. Scorpions at the back still doing damage. I'm not sure how halberdiers are really performing in those fights. And none like bombard cannons are on it, just a good addition. Maybe they are. And now Christ, he doesn't have the greatest build-up, doesn't have the greatest eco yet, but he has the big production facilities, mass siege workshop, mass castles, and his production is now starting to roll. Just need to add some more traps, and then he's fighting against camel, halberdier, elephant composition. This looks good for our player from Australia. Look at that battlefield. Oh, so brutal, so brutal. Here we go, quite a nice high pop now coming over with his bad elephants. Let's take a look, but I think they shouldn't do too much. Oh, maybe they can get some nice raids in, trying to control the middle. Players actually trying to set up some trade. Not 100% sure how efficient trade setting up is or how important. If you control the middle, obviously it's not important. If it's kind of split, the guy with the earlier trade wins. It's so tough. And now we see what happened. Brew wasn't able to really put on the pressure, and Christ is going for the big attack here and is getting so many kills and gets some rams out as well. First castle of Brew will fall, and this looks so good for Christ here, and he continues to go for the kill. Miguel now coming for the rescue though, but that means Trinity should find something as well, actually intercepting some of the scorpions. Pretty sweet stuff for him. And now re-intercepting is Miguel here. What a big fight. Scorpions with their big range, with their extra arrow. It's just so brutal. Christ now needs to retreat. I think in an ideal world, the Khmer would actually build siege workshops over the Persian and go for heavy scorpions on the other side. That would be sick. Cure. I'm going full-time starting in March. Okay, let's continue in this game. Christ needs to fall back. Obviously, I said his eco development was pretty slow because he was so clumped up for such a long time. Not the greatest food eco yet. Let's take a look. We are at 70 villagers here at the 12-minute mark, but everyone is somewhat on the lower side here. And now it starts to really, yeah, get tricky and go for the gold control here. No sabbatical. Just quitting. Scorps 2OP, please nerf. Well, I believe that's the only Civ and the only matchup where Scorps are really viable. So I actually would even love to see a buff for them. Especially like cast rate Scorpions are heavily underused. And bam! Take a look, Onager could take out 2 traps here. Takes the Scorpion first. Oh! I wanted to say first. How did he lose that trap? Interesting. Okay, trade cards. We have 34 compared to 23. That's not too important. Gold control. Trice has a reasonable gold control. We have Trinity with some as well at the same time. Brew not really. Miguel not at all. And gold spots should be dry at home. I can't even really say what TC was built for the gold spots. So that's a lot of farms. Miguel in some troubles. That's a gold here. Ah, maybe I'm serious, maybe I'm not. You'll never know. Or maybe one day we will know. Maybe in March. Okay, let's take a look. Scorpions now trying to get some more good shots here. Better elephants. Trying to push down. Populations are actually pretty similar. Both Persian players at pop limit, the Khmer players at 140. Let's take a look. Christ having a bit of a better hill advantage in this one, but most of the elephants actually down here for him. Not taking the best engagement. First elephant now closing down the distance, and this looks good for Brew here. 18-minute mark in this game, and I still can't decide who has a significant advantage. At the moment, trade is a bit better for the Brazilians. Look at that. Brew already had 41 trade cards. That's actually somewhat reasonable for a person. Trinity's raids not really happening as well, and Miguel with a very low amount of gold, and seems like Trinity and Christ is doing a great job here, but Brew, so there's a big army left, and Christ, let's take a look at his food eco. It cannot be too great. He has at the moment 54 farmers, 17 lumberjacks, 22 mining gold. That's surely not enough. Trying to go for some other wood, but would love to see like at least 10 to 15 farmers added there. If you're Persians, it's tough to have too few farms. Too much farms. It's easy to have too few farms. Aye. Nice army composition now by Brew, and nice numbers for him as well. Not taking that stone is Mr. Trinity. It's so tough to hold the gold in the middle as well, since you're always fighting uphill. I'm not denying that gold for now, and that's a pretty aggressive cast here by Brew. I think shouldn't really, be up for too long. Another castle. Let's compare trade card amounts again. 80 compared to only 50. And Christ needs to go back. Oh, those halberdiers, so they shouldn't do a lot of damage, but Scorpions are somewhat exposed now. And that's a stage where Christ shouldn't build a single Scorpion, but give the resources to Trinity to build the Scorpions. But like, that's only me trying to play this game as perfectly as, or theoretically as perfect as possible. Obviously in game, it's just so much more natural if you have the resources to just click that button and build those Scorpions yourself. 2.4k gold for him. Brew is at the limit with all the resources. We have Miguel with some more food, and Trinity pretty much at the limit as well. Trying to get some control over here. Still getting some of that gold. Miguel could send some more villagers over. Brew getting some as well. But honestly, now we're in the phase where trade kind of is more important than your actual villagers there in the middle. At 170, Miguel at 160. Trinity even needs to build some more houses. What do we have here? Some light calf having a chill day. Khmer elephant users in the M? I think so, yeah. They do just way too little damage. And Brew, is he pushing quite nicely up here? No more elephants. Military count is only 40 compared to a solid more than 90 here for the two Brazilians, and they are pushing in. And now some traps. Obviously some rams would be super sweet for Trinity resources, as you can see, absolutely at the limit. And that's just so good here. Miguel building the heavy scorpions. We have Brew building the war elephants, and that's exactly what I wanted to see when I created those settings. That army composition here, and really trying to figure out what is the best elephant civ together with some scorpions. And now Miguel is back in the game, and that looks like he is back when it comes to gold. Only 36 trade cards. Did produce halberdiers for quite some time. Didn't lose his scorpions because they were always fighting in the back, and he can even get some raids in. And Trinity's equal, well, yes, 125 villagers is the highest, but well, if he doesn't take good care and just loses 20 villagers on the farmers, that's not beautiful for him. I don't really like how he has so many like second or third or second and a half row farmers actually, and that's a lot of losses. That's at least 15 villagers already dying. And at the same time we have the big engagement over here. Traps unrouting. Brew is coming forward. That's more scorpions here in the back for Miguel, but still some for Christ. But that's Persian scorpions against, well, a mix of Persian and Khmer scorpions. And this feels like Brew has the numbers and is getting the second castle down, and 4 traps are really killing castles pretty fast. And this looks pretty good for the two Brazilians to take this series to at least game number 6 here, evening it out 2-2. And resources for Trinity absolutely at the limit. He still didn't really see that, isn't reacting. Well, he is now producing more villagers, but not producing more cards, and the traps are moving forward. If he snipes down another castle, I think they will have this, because reduction of tries is just lacking too much. Then he's trying to get some more castles up, still has some over here, so 6 castles for him, but Brew still has 6 castles as well. And actually even shooting the further back one means that he can easily get the further front one quite nice and easy. Those scorpions are all dying, and suddenly pop 150 against two Brazilians that look pretty solid with their pops. Maybe some onager shots can change the tide. Let's take a look. One good shot, and Elephant is killing that one, and that shot completely missed here. Another castle going down, and tries actually in the meanwhile build another castle. Now that's probably this one. So was down to 5, now up to 6, and now down to 5 again. And the stream, look at that, the trade just runs perfectly here for Brew and Miguel at all this time, and they're continuing to push further and further in. Another onager shot, and well, that's somewhat good, but they're just too open. Pop 140 for Christ out of pop 160. Sneak attack from behind from Trinity, but the traps were all low on HP. 1 survived and all 4 survived. Look at that. Oh god. 6 HP, 27 HP, 65 HP. He just could have focused 2 down and killed 2. But instead, those are more losses here for Christ. And this is looking worse and worse. And we see the GG for Christ and Trinity. And this brings us to an even series 2 here. Guys, and it's tough to be closer together after 5 games and having it the score 2-2. Nearly jokes again. Full control in the end didn't really matter. It was such a fast transition here for Brew. He was so heavily on halberdiers early on, so that it was kind of chaos for him to not have instant goal access. An early trade, beautiful transition, did fall behind quite a bit, but then Miguel came over and Trinity a bit late with the double, and Christ then ran out of steam, didn't have the eco instantly. Let's take a look at the achievements. Caddy, pretty similar for all the players. Largest army, actually Miguel, quite solid. Brew, absolutely carrying him. Great stuff. 20 overboomed. Let's take a look at the food eco. And Hard hosting. Thank you so much. In 1 hour, we will have Talk of the Empires with Hard and Zero Empires. We'll talk about the daily life of in the Age of Empires world, but that's to come for a bit later. For now, we will still focus on this series. Hi. Let me take a look, and we have Prairie Captain's mode. Woo! That could be another 7-minute game. I believe Prairie could be the shortest game of them all. Yeah. Okay guys, I will give you another 1.5 minutes of chair stream, maybe less, and then we will go into game number 5, Prairie Captain's mode. Prairie is double scout, flatland, very little wood. You can't camp, you can die easily instantly. The perfect map if you want to see someone die very quickly. Chat stream is over. How are you, Cherry Avy? What is TLC? The Legacy Cup. A deathmatch 2v2 tournament featuring the greatest player of them all. And we are jumping into game number 5 here. The launch sign. Prairie could be pretty tough. We have to take a close look at the amount of villagers of them. So we have Huns and Franks against Persians and Italians. So Huns are pretty strong because you don't need to build houses. Franks are incredibly strong because your stables are 40% faster. And with Huns, you're like 60% or like 70% faster. Persians, I think, is a total dead civ. I think Christ will instantly die. Italians, he's clumping up as well and wants to get onto mass amount of January's crossbowmen. And well, that will be just so tough. And he's going for mass Tarkans, and I like that. I like that so much. Oh god, this will be so tough. Okay, amount of villagers, we see Trinity actually went down to 3, so he was he open? He was housed. He didn't build a house. Trinity didn't build a house. He's 5 out of 5. Total Titanic. Oi, 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 oi. Oh god. And now mass Tarkan push. Why isn't he going to the front? What is happening here? Ay. This is such a fail. Okay. Okay. Why aren't we seeing like... You should have like 30 Tarkans now at the front here and just tear down those castles. Okay, let's take a look. Is there a low HP castle? Not really. Okay. I think he didn't play this aggressively enough. Okay, Paladin's now at the front and it's still, look at that. Pop 13 against 70 and 50. This should never work. Trinity and Christ, I think they should instantly die here. This should not work. Let's see if maybe the Brazilians can screw it up and the Australians can slow it down. If it goes to the late game, obviously Elite War Elephant and January's Crossbowmen are incredibly good against double Paladin civs. Or look at against Tarkans even. But is Miguel afraid of two castles? Two camels? Well, it was completely walled, so he couldn't really get in. But I think he could have done some medium damage there for sure. Okay, now we see Brew going for some traps, and those are not enough pikemen and January's Crossbowmen to really fight those paladins off. And as we said before, 40% faster. Already setting up the trade. Corners completely controlled by Brew. Military count, look at that, 160, 110 against 50 and 50. And I believe those civilizations don't really work here. Persians and Italians. Remember, this was Captain's Mode draft, so we had some bans for both players, then a pig, 2 bans, another pig, I believe, something like that. So you have a lot of influence of what you're playing, and well, Persians and Italians, maybe they thought it's another 1 hour 10-minute game, but well, you need to get there. Now we will see how Tarkans will perform against War Elephants. Well, not really too nice, but if he can put a lot of pressure on all the castles, if he just kills 3 castles, he's in such a good spot. Oh god, and that's a lot of paladins. We only fought down 1 castle so far. Now rams are coming in, but that's a lot of traps as well. Oh, and now maybe Trinity and Christ are holding this. They're leading in score, but that can be misleading. Pop 200 and 100 against 100 and 100. Brew, I'm not sure why he's only at pop 100. He didn't get raided once. Didn't even produce anything on his main gold spot. Well, his macro was really slipping here. Same time, Miguel is pushing quite nicely, going for a lot of monks here. 2 castles down, and suddenly the Persians is looking into only 4 castles and more traps coming over. Christ could lose this. Look at that, 8 traps here, and still a lot of halberdiers, some monks. I think I would love to see some paladins to snipe down those scorpions. Maybe some Tarkans are coming over. And now January's Crossbowmen. Obviously, they could be great against that kind of position. January's Crossbowmen could be so good. And now Brew is losing some steam. Paladins are coming over. Let's take a look. We can see. Uh-oh, Trinity. Can they maybe pull this back? At the moment, it seems like it. This would be so sick. But down to 3 castles is the Persian player. Now trying to get a 4th one up. Oh, and that is a nice clear up of all the January's Crossbowmen. Needs to send those traps back. Maybe 3-4 more converts. Look at that, 10 traps here at the front. Going for more and more Tarkans. Still a tough spot. Now sending all his paladins or elephants back. January's Crossbowmen and bombard cannon seem to be the composition here of our Italian player. Still, there's so many traps here at the front, so many traps going down as well, but now, whoa, what are they trying to attack? Okay, rethought that. Now going for another castle. Let's take a look. Can he get a lot of converts there against the Bad Elephant? I think 1 castle will go down, but maybe a lot of traps as well. Now trying to go back with the traps, leaves 1 trap to kill with 1 more shot, and it seems like that castle is down indeed. So that was a reasonable engagement here, or a reasonable kill here for Miguel. Points still heavily in favor of our 2 Australian guys, who are now stabilizing, and suddenly they're at pop 140 against pop 100. And guys, it seems like Miguel and Brew could not go for the kill fast enough. I didn't really know how to pressure here. Now losing all the bongs and, well, Christ this time is setting up his eco a bit nicer. January's crossbowmen coming over and Brew trying to go for another snipe but lost all his traps here, completely unprotected. How did that happen? And it seems like Trinity is holding this. And guys, what did we see here? How did this happen? They were dead. They were completely dead. We will see at the timeline how brutal that was when it came to military and villagers. But Miguel and Brew couldn't finish it out. And now it's Italians and Persians. And at one point, well, the Huns and Franks won't perform too great anymore. I'm not 100% sure if I really want to see those Chinese crossmen sitting under 3 castles. But, well, Rams are now coming over. So that's good. More traps going down. And Miguel in a world of trouble. Trade card amount 0 for him. And that's not a lot. It's really not a lot. It's tough for me to think of numbers that are smaller. Well, actually they're an infinitive number. Smaller. But, well, nearly math. Oh, and now blocking that trade as well. And Miguel is tapping out. An 18-minute game. Guys, I have no idea what we just witnessed. I thought it was a 6-minute game for Miguel and Brew. Instead, it was an 18-minute game for Christ and Trinity. That's just achievements. Just look at the timeline. Look at that part. Look at the 4-minute mark. That's just ridiculous. Like military count. That's not how it works. It had to be like pop 300 against pop 100 here. Military count had to be so brutal. But then they just threw. Look at that army thrown. Or like killed. So weird. And yeah, in the end, didn't even really set up the eco. 88 villagers here, but no trade at all for Miguel. Brew lost everything there. And I think that should not work. And now let's go for the real achievements. Oh god, Miguel's KD. Congrats to the 13 congrats. And Trinity not really got into the eco phase of the game. Actually gave a lot of resources to Christ. That he could go for mass elephants. Got 116 villagers, 7 castles. For one moment I felt like, yeah, they will get all the castles of the Persian player and then it's done. But, well, it seems like he had 3 left. And could finish the job. Did the war elephant enable that kind of turnaround? War elephant at the Frank side and the Genoese crossbowman over at the Hunt side. That's what I would say. T90 official in the house. And I said captain's mode, not captain's mode, I said Prairie can be so brutal. Didn't know the Titanic was a Brazilian ship. Ha! AOC zone down again. Well, why do you need AOC zone when I'm streaming? Just full screen and sit back. Well, maybe it's nice to check some AOC zone drama on your phone. How good is Khmer on DM? Watch the VOD and you will see 2 Khmer games. And then I'll let you decide. They felt strong. Felt really strong. It's nice to go to a season when you just going timing. Okay. Yeah, agreed. Is it right that you quit your job as a teacher? I heard several rumors. Some said yes, some said no. All of them were true. Game number 6. And I'm loading the second last rec that I have here. I'm not sure. It could completely unspoiled. Obviously Limp, the guy behind the scenes, doing an incredible job there together with Robo, hosting the tournament, providing spoiler-free action. Okay, let's take a look into Atacama, hidden different Civ, but no AOC Civ. So no more Hunts, no more Franks. I kind of expect to see Slavs. And what else is fast? Slavs? Khmer, maybe? Something like that. Do you think you can beat Bean Dip, Frosted, Odette 1-3? Who is Bean Dip? Who's Frosted? And Odette? I have no idea how good she is. I think I wouldn't beat Odette 3 times. I think 3 times Odette would beat me. Okay guys, Atacama. Let's jump. What is Nili? I watched her stream once, and that wasn't that bad. 3v1 is a tough thing, but if you want to see me play 3v1, maybe you tune in at Rocket Beans TV this Friday. Inca's best Civ. Well, we will see. It's interesting. I still have no idea what we will play. So, yeah, let's see. Launching the game, loading the music, and getting hyped internally. And we will jump into game number 6 here, Atacama. Hidden pick Civ, no AOC Civ, so only of the expansions. And we have Burmese for Mr. Miguel. We have Khmer for Brew. On the other side, we have Italians for all caps, yeah. Not sure about that. And Khmer for Christ. Interesting stuff. Atacama is the map. You have very little wood and are trying to fight for that beauty thing here in the middle. And yeah, we will see how they will play this out. This looks like a 5 stable opening, saving the villager. Seems pretty good. On the other side, we have a 6 stable opening. We have mass barracks pikemen here for our Italian player. Not 100% sure if I like that. I think he should rush onto a lot of Genoese crossmen as well. Maybe already castle with the Warden villager. And we see Christ playing this with a solid 9 stables, I believe, 3 siege workshop. His production will be pretty sick, and I think Brew could really die to what Christ will have in store for us. Look at that massive amount of siege workshop and playing the, producing, yeah, them from quite a defensive position here. For now, not a lot of kills. Miguel got some here at the front, but only killing some pikemen that are patrolling in and now killing them while retreating is not really an option here. But well, he can run with 4 HP and 21 HP. Congrats to that. Now rushing out the castles and getting some control here of the middle area. Trading should be that side of the corner here for the Brazilians and the south for the Australians. And now we're in the spot where those battle defense are pretty strong. And we see the Scorpions here of Brew. Ah, both are Khmer. Okay, I was confused. Well, then it will just be who has more Scorpions here, I feel. And then the siege workshops were a bit earlier by Brew. And Miguel has a pretty solid push here. Look at that. Pep 30 only for our Italian player. Not looking too great for him. Now trying to wall his villagers here. Well, if you do that many outposts, well, build the last one before start. Not do it against an elite Rambai. And yeah, Just don't try it at all. And now we have a big engagement over here. I cannot really distinguish the colors. It feels like blue is winning though. And that was Christ from before, now closing down the distance. But those are all so low HP. I think they will die just chasing here. And some halberdiers are clearing this up as it seems. At the same time, the pikemen and Chinese crossbowmen in the end are doing work. And it seems like they are in quite a fine position. Maybe some switch into onagers or bombard cannons is needed here to deal with that Italian player. For now, Miguel is just moving in with his battle defense and Rambis behind that, and yeah, trying to deal with the pikemen. But the Genoese crossbowmen are the real damage dealers here, but not in as high numbers as he would like them to have. Same time, Christ, he really knows how to handle those situations quite nicely and is pushing with the big army. He is at 60 military, but so is Brew. And this looks like Brew should hold this. The castle should focus down all the scorpions now. At the same time, the push in the north is kind of stopped. And I will switch back and forth with team with friend foe colors. Seems like Brew is holding this again. No traps came in. Trade is getting set up by Christ here and by all caps here. On the other side we have Miguel and Brew in a reasonable spot there as well. All the players kind of even-ish when it comes to pop. More villagers for the Brazilians. Army kind of reasonable as well for both teams. But it's still, I'm not 100% sure how well the Italians will play against the Burmese in the long run. It feels that these Genoese crossmen are somewhat designed to deal with the elephant and the rambi, but I'm not sure if the pop efficiency will be good enough. But for now, he has pop 130 against Miguel's pop 70, so in a good spot for sure. Once those Genoese crossmen are massed, they just wreck those elephants. Well, but once elephants close the distance against clumped up Genoese crossmen, they get re-wrecked. So it is kind of tough. And guys know that the wood control is just so important. And for now, Miguel not really at the wood, and neither is Christ, who's trying to go for another engagement. Scorpion's a bit too far in the front here, if you ask me. That's not great, and lost way more scorpions than he should have. Maybe even pull them back a bit, get the elephants to the front, but well, it was still a reasonable engagement because he just had the numbers. And Miguel now losing some of his gold, and those gold spots are pretty exposed here at the front, and his trade didn't start yet. Again, look at that, Brew at 22, Miguel at 0 when it comes to the trade cards. Killing some of those villagers. Genoese crossman actually doing 3 damage against the scorpion here. That's pretty solid as well. Are you surprised that the Brazilian team haven't walked this? No, they were seed 8 and seed 9. I was expecting a very close series, and we actually saw a draw in game 1, so it's tougher. It's very tough to, really get a series closer. And yeah, I felt like it should be a pretty good series and entertaining for sure. Should be, the closest series in that round of 16 here. We will see about that. Obviously super excited to see how well the other top teams will play, and it feels like that the Australians are walking over this, and Christ is just playing a beautiful game. So many scorpions for him, and I feel like the amount of scorpions is a bit more important than the amount of elephants here in the Khmer War. And Miguel indeed is tapping this out. A 15-minute game here, and after this very exhausting start, we had a lot of very short games here, and that's the beauty of deathmatch. Best of 7 series can be so entertaining, and it won't get shorter from here. We will only have best of 7 series, some best of 9s. Finals, I believe, will even be best of 11, so that should be pretty sick from here on, and I'm super excited how this tournament will progress. Christ and all caps here together with Trinity will advance. Brew and Miguel will drop down in the lower bracket. Achievements. are showing us that, yeah, Miguel got the better kills, but that didn't matter in the end. Seems like Genoese crossbowmen are a really strong unit. We have to agree on that. And yeah, how was their draw? Rewatch the VOD, I would say. Was Team Islands, no more wood left. And I think one team should have won it, but well, it surely would have taken some time.